Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Homesteading channel. If this is your first time visiting with us, we want to extend to you a very warm welcome and invite you to watch our over 500 videos that we've arranged for you in playlists, as we are confident you're going to find something both useful and entertaining to watch. If you have been here before, welcome back. If today is your birthday, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. Today we have another organization project for you, and in today's build we're going to build something for the shop to help us as we move around and we try to make it more and more efficient. We realize we always put our drills and small tools all over the place, so we're going to use those two boards, which are 10 by 1 by 8, which means that they are 9.5 by 3/4 by 8 feet, right? And we are going to turn it into this great organization cabinet that hangs from your shop walls, or if you want to use a little better quality wood, a space for your house to organize small things or glasses, etc. Stick around and we're going to show you how to build it. So we start by picking our first board and putting it in our cutting table. And the first thing we do before we mark anything is to make sure that our factory edge is nice and square. What does it look like?
Yep, looks pretty good to me.
Okay, so it is nice and square. So we're going to proceed with measuring and cutting using our track saw, because the table saw is not the best tool for this specific operation. And just make another mark. We don't need the whole line because the track of the track line will create a line. So we need another mark there.
I'm going to do it, not all the way, but I'm going to do it
Okay.
this way, therefore I don't have to measure again and make a mistake.
Okay. All right, and now we're going to set our track. Okay, we need to set the track so. So here goes the first cut. Okay, so I should have gone a little further. That's good. All right, so in typical fashion for our channel, we're going to use the first piece to mark the consequent pieces, right? All right. And we're going to make the second cut. I have it. All right, we're going to do the second cut, and I made a mistake and I didn't go with the track saw all the way through, so we have a little bit of material here, so we're going to knock it off with our saw, our Japanese saw. And is our other piece good, or we need to do any of the correction? No, here, I need to.
Oh, there is a little bit left on that one.
So don't be like me, don't make mistakes with your track saw, right? That's the moral of the story.
Why don't you turn it over the way you have the other one?
And this saw excels at this kind of thing, right?
This one?
Yeah.
You're going to show it to him?
No. The next thing we're going to do.
It's a double-sided saw. It has teeth on both edges.
So the next thing we're going to do, we drew a shape here, as you can see, right? Mm-hmm. And you can also do a radius, right?
A rounded curve instead of an angle.
Whatever. This is just purely for looks. Mm-hmm. So it's not critical. You can do whatever you want here. And I'm going to use the table saw to do this. So we're going to attempt and cut both pieces at the same time. And I do not have double-sided tape, which will be the ideal thing to put between the two boards to keep them from moving. So we're doing it the redneck way, using painter's tape to keep the pieces together. Now this is a very interesting cut. So we are going to try to do it with the saw, and I need to remove the knife for that.
Okay.
Just come all the way up. So I'm going to remove the riving knife because in this instance it's going to be a...
It will interfere with your cut instead of assist.
Will it? I don't know. They're all straight cuts, so no, I think it will be okay. If it is not okay, we'll stop and remove it. But we're not turning it here, so it's not a...
Okay.
There?
Yep.
You remove it, please. I cannot have you there. Sorry, I turned it off.
You want me to hook up the vacuum? for
I
this?
don't think so. I was doing perfect until that point. Two pieces are cut. Next, we're going to move to cut well, this is the side piece. We need the shelves in essence, right? Mm-hmm. And there are different dimensions, and we're going to go on and cut them, and we'll be right back with you. All right, folks, so we've marked where we want our top shelf to be. And those that are astute amongst you will notice I made a mistake. I went too far here. Now, if this was a piece of furniture, I would recut this piece, but it is for my shop. It's not a big deal for me. And if it turned out to be a big deal, I will just take this piece off, recut a piece and replace it. But right now we're going to go with this and ignore the mistake. As you can see, the other pieces, that's what we were going for.
And so since I was filming, and we know that from the top side it looked like you went to the correct spot on your cut, how did you cut too far?
Because this is the double the width, so the blade curvature goes much deeper on the bottom part, right? Does it make sense? Because this was double.
Right.
And I thought I was calculating for it, but clearly I didn't, you know, and that was my mistake. So don't make this mistake if it bothers you. Or
So what happened essentially is that the curve of the top of the blade where you stopped was here, but the curve of the blade went further.
Right.
And that's what made the extra long cut.
And if we were cutting the first piece, as you see, is fine because it makes no difference, right? We meet there, it's on the top of the blade, it's great. But because that was what is almost an inch below,
Yeah.
an inch and a half actually, right? There was enough to make it visible.
Right.
In any case, we might put some good wood putty or nothing.
I like good putty.
Good putty. So now the next part, we've cut our top and bottom shelves, and the next part is going to assemble it.
Right.
So we're going to get together. Because there is a chance I'm going to take this apart, I might not put wood glue on this. I haven't decided.
Okay. And we're going to use our favorite clamps
We will.
to hold it all
So let us get together. Let's get ready, and we're going to do it.
Okay. We'll get
Okay.
it
With the
ready.
bottom, not the shelf, what we're going to call it, the organizer. With the bottom shelf attached with the clamps, but we're going to attach it using 3 screws per side, right?
Okay.
So, there? What do you think? There? Okay. middle. Can you move that up, please? Thank you. All right, then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to use the screws. So we use a countersink here, and you would do that if you were building furniture or something like that. And this, of course, is not furniture, but I want it a little nicer. And these screws, because they have a wedge shape, and we're very close to the edge, tend to split the wood. So the countersink prevents that, or helps prevent that, right?
Okay.
Nothing is 100%.
And that makes it nice and flush.
Right. No worries, be happy. Again, normally I would put what you call it, some glue here, but in this instance I'm not going to, because it should be okay. All right, let's turn it around, and we're going to do the other side. So we're going to repeat this process with the other board on top.
So this is our bottom shelf, and when we get this one attached, we'll then do the top shelf, which will align with the marks that we've already shown you.
And it will give us quite a lot of good structure, actually, right? Mm-hmm. We hope. Okay.
Now we have to clamp the top shelf.
Right, so we need to unclamp the bottom, clamp the top, and we'll show you when we're done.
So what we have here is we have aligned the square with the top of this board to know where to place the screws to make sure that we were in alignment with that board. And now we're going ahead and placing the screws into the board.
Now, of course, if you don't have a table saw, this operation can happen if you're track saw or even a handsaw, right? We're using the tools we have to make it more expeditious as possible.
And to make our cuts as square.
Right, so for us, this was set already. It was a faster cut than setting the track saw, but definitely the track saw does a good work. Now we have to figure out where exactly. We don't want it in the middle. We want to put 4 or 5 drills here, so let us calculate where we want them. A little bit of stochastic persuasion here.
We'll start our own marching band soon.
So if this doesn't work as a tool thing, it can work as a musical instrument. That was the joke, folks.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is we're going in at an angle, so.
Tap this back. There. And you can do that.
So we are attaching the last shelf unit, and again we're using this square. Those are very inexpensive. Actually, we bought them for $1 from the dollar store, right?
I think so.
And they are very useful because they are thin and light and yet long enough to do most things, right? And what we're using it is to give us a general idea where our shelf is, so we do not miss it with our screws. So another little tip for you guys. So we have 5 pieces that we've cut from our board, from our original board, and they're 2.5 inches wide. And of course the width is the same of our board, so we intentionally bought the board at 10 inches so we don't have to make more cuts, right? So it is what, 9.5 or 9.25, something like that.
Right.
In any case, so we have 5 of those, and then we have 4 of 2 inches. And the way this will work is we're going to attach them thusly. You like that, thusly?
Yep.
And that will become our slots that our tools we're going to slide through, right? Now, one of these pieces we have to cut exactly in half,
Yes.
and we're going to go and do that now, and then we're going to start the assembly. So we are going to use a little can to create a radius that we are going to then cut, maybe in our inaugural use of the, what we call it?
Scroll saw.
Scroll saw, yeah, that one. And the purpose of this curve is to make it easier to put the tool in.
Well, and it makes it a softer edge so that you don't jam your hand against a harsh angle.
Right, but we don't care about that, we're men.
And so, there you go.
And this, by the way, was the bit we had cut in half. We uncut it. And because they need to be opposite, right?
Right.
And that will be the orientation.
Yep.
All right?
Okay, and so we're going to do all of those horizontal bottom pieces, and then we'll use the scroll saw to cut them.
That's the plan.
Okay, so we have set the support, what's this called?
This is just,
In a sewing machine it's called a presser foot, but I don't know what it's called here.
we're going to see how bad I am at using this machine. That's what we're going to do. Sander here to make this a little more smooth, and we're going to start get assembling these pieces, which are the last pieces to attach, right? Okay. By the way, if you don't have a scroll saw or a jigsaw or something to cut these curves, you can actually do it in a sander if you have a sander like this. It removes quite a lot of material, as you can see, very quickly.
And so,
Just a little tip.
so now the edges are nice and smooth and rounded, which is what you're wanting, and we've got just a few more pieces to do, and then we'll come back.
So what you're aiming is to create this, right?
Okay.
And this is going to be our front,
With the curved edge.
right?
Yep, okay.
And we have to make 5 of them. What did we say?
4.
4 more or 4 total?
4 total.
Okay. So let us, again, I'm using 3 screws for each, and they're countersunk. So nothing will be catching if you're trying to grab something underneath. We're going to do the rest of them. And what is the trick we were using?
We are using
2 sides.
2 side pieces to align the middle piece to the exact middle of your horizontal.
What are we doing?
Yeah. So now we've got 2 side pieces to align the middle piece. We just happened to luck out that everything worked out this way to align it with
And
our
if you know-
measurements.
If you want dimensions for this project, shoot me an email and I will send them to you for free.
And then we're just aligning with that middle board and doing 3 screws on the bottom. So we're going to get this one going.
Okay.
No. Hang on. Yes.
Just a hair. Yep, there you go.
And we're going to finish all of them. We'll be right with you. So the trickiest part of this installation is this half piece, because you have very little space here and it is hard to align it. So what we did is we used one of our finished ones, the full ones, and we used it to align that one. And that helps you. And of course we had to come from the side here to make a screw, you know?
And this is the
make a
front.
screw.
This is the front, and we also did the same on the back
Correct.
to align and make sure that they're all going to fall at the same spot. Okay?
The rest of them should be a little more straightforward.
Yeah, but we do have to do this side first, this other half one on this side before we install the other 4 full ones.
Right.
Right. And so we'll use the same methodology, aligning it with the full one so that we make sure that they're all aligned the same way and will be straight. Okay?
And we'll be right back. All right. So we have used clamps to set the holders on the right space, and next we're going to make sure we align the front correctly, and we're going to put the last screw, right?
Yep. And I'm just going to show what we did with the clamps to hold them in place and work on our spacing and make sure that we had everything correct. And then we did the back, and then we will now go ahead and align the front in a similar way to make sure that they are all even.
Now, most tools are pretty universal, but if you have a tool that does not fit, again, because you're making it yourself, you can change the dimensions, right? But most of the tools will fit, what do we say this distance? 2.5, 2.6. Again, if you need exact dimensions, shoot me an email. So we've designed it with a lip here, if you recall. So we found from our scraps now a piece that we're going to attach here, and the purpose of this piece is to prevent anything from rolling off, right?
So it makes a nice shelf with a ledge.
And it also, I think, completes the piece a little more decoratively. So we're going to attach it, again, the same method, screws. and we are going to go back for the finishing. We have enough left from our original board to make the back. We'll have to resaw it into, but we have enough to make the back, as you can see. We opted to use some MDF because we had it, right? But you don't need to buy any more material. You can do it with 2 boards. 1 by 10 by 8, right? So we mark the MDF so we can cut it.
We basically put the thing on the MDF board and have aligned it square all the way around and then marked so that we can take it and cut it straight.
All right, so we'll do that and then we'll get right back with you. So we finished cutting our MDF back, and even though on occasion when we cut small wood pieces we don't wear our masks, even the smallest cut you do on an MDF you should wear a mask, and I wanted to remind that to everyone. We did wear our masks for the MDF, and now we're going to position the piece and attach the back.
And again, why do we need to wear masks for the MDF?
Because MDF has very, very small particles that fly throughout the atmosphere much more than the wood particles, and because they're so big, your nose here will not actually filter them well, and they're going to do damage to your lungs. And it is not fiber wood, this is not necessarily a natural wood. I mean, it has wood in it, but it has a lot of glue as well, so
Okay.
we want to make sure we don't inhale it.
Okay, so we're going to get positioned and set up and go from there.
All right, here we are, and we have a very nice edge. It is always better to have a little proud. I'm a little proud in one area here, but then I can use my trim bit for my router and make it perfect. And I'm only an 8 difference, but as you can see here, we have a very, very nice fit, right? So we're going to attach it, and we're going to be back with final thoughts. So here we are with our finished product, and we put 2 of the drills that we used here for your viewing pleasure. And what do you think, ladies?
I think it turned out really well.
Yeah, very functional.
And again, you have this area for put small tools, batteries, you know. That's perfect. And of course you have the space here. I have not decided how I'm going to attach it to the wall first, probably French cleats, but that's up to each person, you know. You decide what you want to do with your material. Overall, I think it looks very good. We used a little less than the 2 boards. We have this left. Again, if you have no scrap or anything else, you will probably use the whole 2 boards. But if you want the dimensions that will give you the 2 boards, send me an email and I will send you the dimensions of this device. Now, the interesting thing, this is a very great thing to build, not only because it gives you a place to store your tools, but additionally, it gives you the skills to learn to do other things. For example, using very, very similar concepts, you can make a wine bar and put wine glasses here, right? You probably use better wood though, not dimensional lumber, but you can do it. And when you learn how to make good boxes, you can build most everything in woodworking. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you didn't, the other button works as well. Share, like, subscribe, and let us know what else you would like to see in our channel. From Dr. Wizard, Mrs. Wizard, and Elpida, have a great day. Stay safe, put your masks on, wash your hands, and we're going to see you midweek with another short episode. Farewell, friends.